this video, we're going to learn how to do subtraction using the empty number line method. To start off with, for the first example, we're going to do 60 minus 40 equals. Now, most of you already know how to do this in your head, but we're just going to do this one as our first example to get used to using the empty number line. We draw our empty number line across the bottom of the page. Make sure you leave enough space here for our calculations. I'm going to begin with our biggest number, and in this case is 60. I will write my 60 at the end of the number line. Now we're imagining that the number line starts here with 1 and counts all the way up to our 60, but we don't need to write in all of the numbers for our empty number line strategy. Next, we'll look at our 40. Now, we can break our 40 down into smaller numbers to make it easier to subtract. In this case, I'm going to break it down into 4 tens. 10, a 10, a 10, a 10, we know makes 40. I'm going to subtract one of the 10s from my 60 to give me 50. Just so that I don't get confused, I'm going to tick or cross off one of the number 10s. This will come in handy when our numbers are bigger. I will subtract our next 10, 40, and tick off my 10. I will subtract my third 10, giving me the answer 40 subtract 10 makes 30. And I will subtract my final 10 from 30. 30 subtract 10 makes 20. Now to double check that I have subtracted the correct amount, 40, from 60, I can add up all my 10s. 10, add 10 makes 20, add 10 makes 30, add 10 makes 40. I know that I've subtracted my entire number 40, so the answer must be 20. Next we will do a more complicated calculation. 81 subtract 67. I'll draw my empty number line again and start with my bigger number, 81. It goes at the end of the number line. Then I will look at my number 67. How am I going to break it down to make it easier to subtract from 81? I could break my 60 down into 3 20s. 20 and 20 makes 40, add another 20 makes 60. In this case of the 10s, I would recommend always breaking it down into 10s. We could have done a 25, a 15, we could have done different numbers that make 60, but in this case we want to make it as simple for ourselves as possible, and it is always easier to subtract a 10 from a number than a number that's got 1s. I've looked at my 60 and now I'm going to look at my 7, my 1s. I've decided I'm going to break it down into 2 and 5, as I know that 5 plus 2 makes 7. Now it doesn't matter in this case, in subtraction, which number I subtract first. I can pick any of these. For this example, I'm going to subtract my 1s first. 80 subtract 81 subtract 2 equals 79. I can tick off my 2. 79 subtract 5 equals 74. I can tick off my 5. Now, I have subtracted all of my 1s. And we want to tick off my 7, so that I remember that I've subtracted all my 1s. Next, I'm going to subtract the 60, which I have split up into 3 20s. 74 subtract 20 equals 54. 54 subtract 20 equals 34. And 34 subtract 20 equals 14. Now I can see that I've subtracted 60. And in this case, the answer is 14. Now if I'd like to double check that I've subtracted my entire 67, I can add 2 and 5. I know that's 7, 20 and 20 and 20 together is 60, so I have 67. This method can also be used to subtract numbers in the hundreds. We'll give one a go. 182 subtract 45. It's exactly the same method. I draw my empty number line and I go with my bigger number, the 182, and place it at the end of my number line. Now in this case, I'm going to decide how to break down my 45 into a smaller number to be able to be subtracted. I think I will break down my 40 into 20 and 20, and I'll split my 5 into 2 and 3, because 3 and 2 makes 5. Now, this time, I'm going to subtract the tens first. Like I said before, it doesn't matter if you do the tens first or the ones first. 182 subtract 20. I know that 80 subtract 20 is 60, and this helps me as this is 162. Next one is 162 subtract 20. You can break it down even further if you wish. 20 could become 10 and 10. 162 subtract 10, 152. 152 subtract 10 would equal 142. Now I'll have a look at my tens column. Although I've split it into 3 parts, I've still subtracted 20 and 10 and 10, making 40. Next, I'll look at my ones. I've split this into 3 and 2 to make it slightly easier to subtract. I will begin with subtracting the 2. 142 take away 2 is 140. And that just leaves me with the 3. 140 subtract 3 is 137. Now I'm just going to double check, as this was a larger number, that I've subtracted all of the parts of 45. I have 20 add 10, which I know makes 30. 30 add 10, which makes 40. 40 add 2, which makes 42. Add another 3, makes 45. So I know in this case the answer is 137. Finally, I'm going to give you a couple of examples to work through yourself. On Tuesday, we'll upload some subtraction questions to the website for you to work through. You can choose if you'd like to use the empty number line method or the chimney sum method to calculate your answers. But for just now, here's a few practice questions. 79, take away 45. 83, take away 21. 99, take away 81. 149, take away 43. 187, take away 76. As always, if you need any help or support or are not sure about this method, please email one of the P3 teachers. Good luck and enjoy practicing.